All right, let's look at this idea of A-roll and B-roll. When we look at A-roll, we're looking for footage with audio, typically an interview that is spoken on screen. We source that A-roll by finding the sound bites that we think work best to develop our story. So I can listen to the A-roll. Okay, so this student says they're going to New York University. I'm going to mark in and mark out to get the best part of the footage that I want to use in the soundbite. I'll do this with the rest of the clips as well. Okay, so we're going to drop that into our timeline. I'm going to go ahead and listen to this interview. So I'm going to cut this and put it here. And now I'm going to mark in when that student passes the microphone and begins to speak. I'm not going to keep that center section. Okay? So if I take these three clips and I'm looking for B-roll that's going to work with them, and I was working with multimedia, I could look up pieces of footage or graphics that will fit with what the students are saying. Okay, so this student said they're going to New York University. So I go to the internet and I'm going to look up New York University. I'm going to go to images and I'm going to go to tools. I'm going to change size to large. Now, this student said that that's where they're going to go to college. So I can decide how I want to represent that. I could show the school, I could show the logo. I think I like this picture because it shows the city and the flags for NYU. So I right click, I save the image as, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in my folder for this assignment. I'm going to name the image too so it's easier to find, NYU. Save. The next student mentioned getting a scholarship from the National Guard. So I could type in National Guard and change my search again to have large images. And I can decide what I want to use. So since the student's talking about them helping them with college and getting a scholarship, I'm probably not going to include something like a tank. Maybe I'll include something like this person walking toward a helicopter to represent the National Guard. Or I could even try looking up National Guard logo. I'm going to make sure that logo is still high quality, and I'm going to go ahead and choose one. So I'll try to use this logo. I'm going to right click and I'm going to save my image, and this time I'll go ahead and just say National Guard. Now, after I have that B-roll, I could go back to my edit, import the B-roll that I've downloaded. Remember, the goal is to place B-roll in the tracks above your A-roll. My A-roll is on V1 and A1. If I want to make sure that I don't accidentally put it on the wrong track or overlay something, I could even lock my tracks. So I've locked my tracks, and now I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop the image of NYU into my footage. I probably want to show the student for a brief moment while they introduce themselves, so I'm going to cut the image down and decide when it begins after the student introduces himself. So I'm going to listen to what they say. He doesn't start talking about where he's going until where I pause my playhead. So I'm going to trim the image so that it begins when he describes where he's going. And I'm going to drag the other side of the image to end when he finishes talking. Now, notice that my background still has the image of the student. I can drag that photo up to track 3. I can go to my project monitor and choose this icon in the bottom that looks like a post-it note. When I press that, I can choose Black Video and press OK. I've created a single black frame that I can insert in between the clips on track 2. I'm going to shorten that black video to match the same length as my image. Now, when we watch that first portion of this A-roll, we see our student, and then it cuts to New York University with the image of the school. I can right-click that image, and I can also fit to frame or scale to frame size. If I scale to frame size, it leaves pillar boxes on the left side, and that's okay. Okay, so this is where she mentions the National Guard. If I drag and drop again, I can put the logo on the screen. Notice that I need to insert that black video. I can drag and drop the black video from my project monitor again, or I could select the black video that's already in my timeline, hold down the Alt key, and drag a copy of that same video over. So now it will pop up with the black video below. Okay, so I'm going to drag my black video out, and I'm going to clean this up so that they match in time. The National Guard logo is a little bit large, so I'm going to go to Effect Controls with that selected, and I'm going to choose Motion and Scale, and I'm going to scale the logo down just slightly so that you can see it better on the screen. I'm going to press Save. If I listen once again, I hear a little bit of an audio pop where my two clips meet. I'm going to scroll and zoom in, and I'm going to look at my audio to see if I can try to fix that issue. That little tiny bit of a pop seems to happen right here. If I pull my clip backward, select the empty space in between, and press Delete, I can seal up that cut and listen again. That sounds a little bit better. When you're laying B-roll over A-roll, you're trying to select things that match with what the person is saying. As you build an A-roll track, remember that you're taking bits and pieces of different parts of the information you've collected and building a story. You shouldn't be keeping things all in one large clip. Remember that A-roll typically is an interview or a person talking directly to the camera in some type of interview format. B-roll is any of that demonstrative footage or media used to overlay the A-roll. When you cut clips, especially if they're the same person talking, B-roll is a great way to help with those jump cuts.